All right. Well, hey everybody, how's it going? Not sure. How the sound is coming through. Hey, it breaks already. All right. Well, then I am just gonna put some stuff away real quick. How are y'all doing? All right? I hope all right. New camera for me, because, you know, gotta take care of the moneymaker. Oof. Thanks, Jignate. Yay! We're halfway to my very, very first giveaway. Get here, Fuzz. What are you doing? All right. So this is the Eave65, and I wanted to show it off in all of its original glory. Now does not include the case foam, which is sticky, or at least the original version is sticky, but did not stick very well to the PCB. It sticks exceptionally well to itself. So there's that. But that's not in here. So we are going to set that to the side. As you can see, there are blinding lights on the bottom, which is really nice, actually. And I'm going to pause the music for a second. And I'm going to do a quick sound test with the original configuration. Now this is Akko mirror switches, I believe. Correct. Akko mirror switches and drop DCD keycaps. This is the Walkman themed by Mr. Bingo. I forget what it's actually called, but it's patterned after a Walkman. So this is the sound test. So that's the original keyboard. It has kind of one flaw, and that is, let me see if I can get it on camera, and that is when you put too much force here, it kind of pushes away too much, more than like even the other side. It's kind of weird. And it's one of the things that I'm hoping. So the X-Ray keyboard is a new keyboard by, here, let me show you. It's going to be the new mode keyboard. We'll have, it's patterned to use the X-Ray keycaps. It's been going around quite a bit. And let me see. get our browser window capture going. Oh, let's get our music going. Is it even on their website yet? So it's the new Mod Musings collab on the Encore. So let's see. I know I can find it. So on their industrial series, they have this is Mod Musing's website, and so basically they have a version of this keyboard, there it is, that has the white mid piece. It has a polycarbonate top and a polycarbonate bottom, and it's designed to like complement the X-ray the PBT fans X-ray, which is this set. So this set is $85. It's not terrible. However, XVX has basically their own version of this set that we're going to be using today. So this is 80. The PBT fans here is $85. This was $14.99. No, I did not get a proto of the X-ray keyboard. No. No, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be upgrading the I'm going to be upgrading my Eave65 with the new to the Plus. So basically, and it will bring us to this box. Oh, sorry. You all can see that. Let's bring that out. All right, there you go. You can see this. Sorry for the rustling. Get that out of the way. So this is the Swagkeys silicone kit, also known as the Eave65 upgrade kit. And what this does is it is meant to add the parts that were changed from the original run of the Eave65. Yeah, I will, absolutely. I got this set through Amazon. It is called the XVX Jade White. Hopefully sometime today I will be getting the XVX Jade Red. So, the main change that they made from the original run to the new run of the Eave65, which kind of necessitated them calling it the Plus, was they modified the daughter board, which is this, and they added a silicone weight, and then they added a non-adhesive plate foam. Now the non-adhesive plate foam, I don't know that we're going to use it, at least in this design, because I'm kind of going for the all white. Trying again to riff on the mode Encore industrial X-ray version. But yes, so that is that, and we'll be installing that. We will not be installing this, and we'll put it with the original foam. Yeah, so this is the original setup, and we're actually going to be unbuilding this. Oh, found it. Good. Perfect. You want to link it in? Well, actually, I can link it in the chat if anybody else wants it. This is a good set. It's a die sub PBT set. If you like the original, if you like classic things like the Walkman, this is a fun little set. But doesn't work with my. Oh, and let's go ahead and pull this out, because one thing about the Akko mirror switches, and I've gotten multiple sets of them at this point, so I'm reasonably confident in making this statement, is that they do not grab onto plates. And yeah, so basically I'm probably just going to be doing this, because more than likely in 90% of the cases of this, it's just going to pull the switches with it. And then we're going to undo the housing. We'll install our new components, put it all back together, and we'll be going to the we're also going to be using the HMX Chew switches, which are similar to the Akko mirrors, except they're just a little bit deeper, and in my opinion a little bit nicer. And they work with our theme because they are a milky housing. So while there is no per key RGB on the Eave65, I am trying to stick to my theme. I think I'm actually going to take out, at least to start, I'll take out the oh, that's cool. Yeah, if I ever find myself in a situation where I suddenly have a bunch of money, I'd like to go to one of the bigger keyboard conventions. For anybody who is local or near enough local to the Colorado area, there will be a new keyboard meetup in Boulder. This is the first time that I'm aware of that they've met in Boulder, and it's being spearheaded by oh, I think I knew that for some reason, that it wasn't that much of a drive for you. I don't know, but it's being spearheaded by Pete Johansson of ZMK fame, if you're familiar with him and his work. He is one of the, or is the developer of ZMK. And so he'll be there. I'll be there. I'm going to drive up to Boulder for that. That's like 45 minutes away from here, so which is pretty much how long it takes me to get to the current keyboard meetup. Honestly, it takes me about 45 minutes to get over to. You stay there, bag. I'm not dealing with you right now. It takes me about 45 minutes to get out to the place in Lakewood where we currently have the Denver meetups, which there will be another one of those in October at some point. Has not yet been determined, but the one in Boulder is going to be on the 27th. Yes, the 27th at Colorado University at Boulder, I think. There's details on the Colorado Mech Meets Discord, and if you need the link for that, let me know. Hey, look, one stayed. Huh. Yeah, at least the start, we're definitely going to take out the PE sheet. It'll make it a little bit more of a clackier build, but I think that the silicone is going to mute a lot of the sound. At least that's my thought, and I guess we'll find out. How are you doing today, Beast Mode? Are you at the arcade? Did you see my new little logo down here in the bottom corner? And these are friends of the channel. And all that means is that they've sent me stuff. So I like give them a shout out. Because, you know, they're nice enough to send me stuff. Like Epomaker, who is currently sending me the Tide Alice. That will be coming up. Today we have the Tide65. They did not send me that. I actually bought that on sale myself. So that set, the XVX set, one thing about that is that the kitting, not that great. Keep that in mind if you're going to order it, because it does not include 7U support. At least it doesn't include 7U support. It does. Think of Glorious kitting. It's probably a little bit better than Glorious kitting, is the best way to think about it. Now, you might say, it's not that hard to get better than Glorious kitting. But, you know. You can have worse. Like the drop 65% set for GMK Red and Blue Sam, where it's only a 65% kit. Like, don't buy that. I mean, I guess if you never ever buy anything that's 65, and even then, I think that there's going to end up being holes. I forgot to put that in the last. So we'll do that in a second. Now I'm not sure. I may end up using the mirrors in the Tide when I do its rebuild. After we go look at it and check out how it is, we might. I'm going to rebuild it, and I'm probably going to use my ReZero KCA keycaps. Ooh, or permafrost. We could use DCX permafrost with Akko mirrors. That might be nice. I think that sounds good, actually. Have you been to any of the big meetups, Beast Mode? Right, there is the one switch that did not pop. Boom. All right, so this is the Eave65. Pretty straightforward. JST connector to here. This daughter board has an angled JST connector. I'm not sure why they changed it, and I guess we'll see once we get into it. In the meanwhile, you are going to get put like this, and you will get brought out. You will get moved. You will get moved. You will get moved. There we go. That's better. Let's see. Is this the right one? It is. Huzzah. I'm going to leave in the plate foam. We're going to put in the silicone, put in the new daughter board. Ah. That arcade closes early. Growing up, man. We didn't close until, well, we closed down the arcade and it would close at like 10 p.m. Especially on weekends. Had so much fun there when I was growing up. Good old Fun Arcade on Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, Louisiana. Okay, I should have 4, and I do. So, if you see these, this is not mine. This actually belongs to Pete Johansson. This is mine, though. Designed by Rissa on Discord. She makes them, and she had some to sell at the last meetup, and so I bought one for myself, and Pete asked me to grab it so that she did not know if she was going to be able to make the Boulder meetup. And so and I said, sure, I'll be going to both, so I'll take it from one to the other. Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I had a friend growing up. He worked at a mall arcade. I think he even managed it for a while. Okay, got 2 out. You 2 go over there. Note the screws while having the same. There we go. There's one. One more. While having the same size bit, the ones for the back are longer. So keep that in mind when you're putting this thing back together. There is threaded inserts in the top. Let's see if we can get it. So that's nice. And then here's our plate. Here's our plate foam, which again we will be reusing. And then we have our PE foam, which we'll be taking out to, because I'm kind of making this into a theme, which is going to be white. What? And here's our PCB. There's no real options on this PCB except for the step caps. You're locked into a 6.25U. You also have split backspace. You can split the backspace, which I'm not going to. And we're going to put that to the side. All right, now we have our little connector. One, same screws, so that's nice. And two, this is our new Eave65 Plus daughter board, which is supposed to fix something, but I don't know what. But what they did do was, yeah, so it should just fit like so. I don't remember if it's high or low. Guessing it's low, because otherwise I don't think it would fit right. All right, well, we'll try it. We can always switch it. How big is your mall? I mean, you know, because growing up I spent a lot of time in malls, but these days malls are, in a lot of areas, a dying breed. Unless they get converted. I've seen some recent conversions of malls to where the first level is businesses, and then the rest of the mall is like it's like a 3-level mall, and the rest of them are apartments, and that seems to work out great, ish. Okay, so let's see, is this gonna fit right? Yes, okay. So the USB-C port goes on top. We are going to actually put that back on there. We're going to move this, put it back in the bag. It uses silicone gaskets. I have all of the gaskets installed at the moment. I'm going to take them off while I do that, so that they don't pop off and go somewhere they ought nota. Okay. And then we're going to bring out our HMX Chew switches. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Chew switch, here is the information for it. Its operating force is 42, so kind of my sweet spot. Bottom out force is 48. It is a PA66 housing with a palm stem. And like I said, one of my favorites. And perfect for this build. Now, that's always the way. Like it's always like, that's a mall thing where you just get slammed right before, or it's a thing. Don't worry about that sound. It's absolutely not gunfire. But you know, always get slammed right at the end. Did my 4 corners as I usually do, and then we're just gonna get our switches installed. So I know, like, not only are you not gonna see the chew switches because they are underneath the keycaps, you're absolutely not gonna see the plate, which is underneath the chew switches. I mean the PCB, which is underneath the chew switches. So, why? I'm like, because it's a theme. I know it's there. And I can always put it back later. When I inevitably rebuild this keyboard again. As inevitable as the tide. And again, kind of want to make it a little bit brighter since we're putting silicone in the bottom. Want to make it kind of a little bit louder. What happened with Zenclack? What are you talking about? What's going on? Ooh, give me the tea. How exciting. All right, last two. And then we'll install our keycaps. Or let's just install our silicone base as well. These are on top of the keycaps. Uh-oh. upside down. Upside down. Turn me inside out. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So part of what I'm hoping is that the silicone will also act as a light diffuser for the RGB, which is part of the reason why I'm not installing that extra foam. Yes, perfect. By the way, Freya hates these keycaps. Just like she would hate the X-ray keycaps. For the same reason. Can't read them. So I'm waiting with bated breath on this whole Zinclax situation. Not too bad. So the white is really white, but the top, it kind of has a little bit of a yellow to it, which I expect is because of the PBT. Maybe? I don't know. I think they needed to mix a little blue in with their formula, and that would bring it back to a more white color. But we're going to go with it. I see. Well, do we know? Does Gindal have something personal happening? Maybe he's in the hospital? You never know. That's always my concern, you know, when we have these little shops, is that, as is the case with most keyboard vendors, is that, you know, they're usually these little mom and pop 1- and 2-person shops. They end up one person goes down, they're kind of screwed. Okay, then we need this shift. Stick caps. Down, up. function. And our arrow keys. And you go off to the side. You get your little cover. Put you there. All right. So here's our keycaps. I think it looks nice. We'll see how that works out. I'm going to take that out of there and run it from here. Oh, that's going to be a problem. I might have to take it out. Yeah, I'm going to have to take it back out. Install this first. So, good to know. And as everyone probably have already been saying at the screen, you got to plug the JST connector in first. What are you doing, the adapt? Quit being stupid. Oh, that was right. Okay. Nope. Flip it. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no! Where's my screwdriver? I just had a screwdriver. And maybe I just give people too much of the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. I like thinking that people are not out to screw us all. Helps me sleep at night, I guess. Alright. Let's pull this forward. No, that's... So, interestingly enough, they did not include a new JST wire, and if you run it in the trough provided, it doesn't fit in the board. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I can use this new connector, because I'm pretty sure I need the angle to get it to fit at all. I'll mention that to them. So that doesn't work. Hey, Into Greatness. I don't know why it automatically published the thing I thought. Weird. I'll check that out. But thanks for joining me. We're building, as you can see, it's like white keyboard, kind of X-ray-y. We're gonna put you back in there. We'll reach out to Swagkeys on that. Okay. Well, like I said, happy you're here. Now the party can get started. So this is the rebuild we're doing first. So this is an upgrade kit for this keyboard that I built a month, 2 months ago. That adds this silicone weight. It also replaces the daughter board with a new one, but the new one does not work because they did not include a long enough, or they didn't include a replacement JST cable, and the JST cable provided is not long enough to reach so that it'll actually set in here correctly. So that being said, put in the original daughter board. Boom, it fits. Let's go ahead and install our gaskets. You just pop on here in the back, and then they pop on 2 in the front on either side of the space bar. And that is it. Now we put our case back together. There we go. We're going to screw it together. Long screws in the back, short screws in the front. Uh-oh. Into greatness and Jignator gonna have words. Probably because they don't call each other. Yeah, we were by his house yesterday and saw the shed in person for the first time. He has some good plans. I look forward to it. I look forward to moving into his shed. I've actually done that. I actually have done that in an internet cafe, which was also a bar in the French Quarter, with me and 3 other people. We were all IMing each other over AIM. For those of you who don't know what AIM is, AOL Instant Messenger. AIM. And for those of you who do not know what AOL is, you're too young. I'm old. You're not too young. I'm old. Right? I was sad when AIM finally was going to go away. All right, so here we go. Here's the keyboard. It's you know, very white, except for the plate foam. You got that one stripe black running through the center. White keycaps or white switches. Let's go ahead and pause the music. And we're going to do a quick typing test. That's not a bad bar. Now let's go ahead and we're going to check out that RGB. Nice. Let's go ahead and make that RGB all whiteified. Or rainbow. Ooh, let's do rainbow first. Yeah, so it's not really diffusing the bottom at all. But the top is, and I'm guessing this is where the wire is running over it. Like I said, we'll need to reach out to them about that. It does have a little bit more weight. Not that much though, but I think it's enough to where it now has a little bit of heft. The last one was too mushy. This. It's not even white decals. This is actually a die sub. So, actually, I don't need to unplug it. I have some keys right here. So these are actually injected from the. So basically, this top translucent layer is put down with this part hollowed out, and then it is injected from the back to create the stems, put this frame around it, and then through the thing. That way, no matter how much you type on this keyboard, the legends never fade because it's the plastic. It goes all the way through. But yeah, there's an expensive. Well, it's not that expensive. It's $85. Set from PBT fans called X-Ray, and let's see. We're gonna get rid of the choose switch info. Bring my browser. So there's this set, which is by PBT fans, which is kind of the premier version of the set that I have here. And what happened was Mode Designs, a keyboard manufacturer, teamed up with a designer whose name is Mod Musings, and they made a keyboard based on that set of keycaps. So this board, which is a version of the new Mode Envoy, has a polycarbonate top, accent piece, a white mid piece. You can also get it with copper, and then a polycarbonate bottom piece, and it is supposed to match perfectly with the X-Ray keycap set. Hence why it has X-Ray PC, white PC. And then not only that, there are also matching pens you can get with it because, of course, namely this middle pin here, which is an expensive freaking pin. Although, oh, that's the name of the site. I'm like, they misspelled inventory? No, it's inventory. That's the name of the site. So yeah, so if you want the matching X-Ray pen, that is another $100. If you want it with the matching X-Ray pen and the matching stand, that is $159 for a pen. Which isn't, I mean, I've seen crazier pens. Anyway, let us see about going to change our lighting. then change our... We've got our rainbow going around. Rainbow swirl 3. What about rainbow swirl 6? There you go. But I think I'm going to go solid, and I think I'm going to go white. Kind of go with our theme. Oh. Yeah, and there we go. This is the Swagkeys Eave65. This technically would be the Eave65 Plus. For anybody who's interested in this keyboard, please note that the days of free shipping on this keyboard are done. How many 100% keyboards do I have? Like true 100% keyboards? Because I have 1800 keyboards, which have the numpad, but it's condensed, but still have the function row. And then I have FRL 1800s, which have a numpad, but no function row at the top. So it would be this with a numpad over on the side. You're gonna have to be a little, like, if you're talking about like full, just like a full keyboard, I have like, if you count the QK 101, if you count this, right? Where's a picture of what it looks like built? They don't show a picture of it built. Anyway, it's basically a full, except for your second navigation or your third navigation row. Instead of that, you have a little screen and a little rainbow matrix thing that you can program. But it has 2 extra keys up here that you could use if you needed any of the 3 keys that you don't need on a keyboard anyway. So if you count this as a full keyboard, I have this one. I have one more. I put it on permanent loan to a coworker because I got tired of listening to him type on his keyboard. And so I built that out and gave it to him, and he's been using it ever since. So I don't know if I really count that. Aside from that, aside from those 2, everything else is some variation of not a full-size keyboard. Most are 1800s, which would be similar to... Well, I mean, it's... I have one keyboard that is... Like, this is close to being a full-sized. It's like 90% of full-sized. So you have 3 keys here, you have 2 keys here, which are plenty for what my purposes are. No, wait, you have 4 keys here and 2 keys here. So, I mean, it has the same number of keys as the last one, but it's just kind of laid out differently, and it's a little bit more condensed. And then there is my Zoom 98. So, okay. I have this keyboard. right? So this keyboard is bigger than most full-size keyboards, I think, because of the big bezels that it's got around the edge. And basically it has as many keys as your standard full-size keyboard. They're just laid out differently. So I've got 4 at the top, 4 here, and then 1 extra here. This screen, which I have the screen installed, can actually be replaced with 2 more keys. So you could have 6 here, 1 here, and 4 more here, bringing your total number of keys on this keyboard to something like 107. Yeah. So it and your standard full-size keyboard is 104 keys. So you would have, like, this already has 1 more key than your standard keyboard, which is the F13, which I have set to delete for some reason. Yeah. Anyway, so not necessarily. I just like, well, I go after different things. Now I have tended to go for what is it? ABK? No, it's just well, if it's designed well. So there is a variation from that same company. So this is the type of keyboard that I have been going for. Let's see if they actually have one built. Yeah. So this is the FRL 1800. So there's no function row at the top. There's also no there's no extra keys. So basically, if I want to do my navigation cluster, I have them programmed with the OP bracket L semicolon colon with the function key. So if I want like print screen, it'll be hit this function key right here and hit O, and it does print screen. Function key L does delete, etc. This keyboard I do have, and it's pretty neat because on top of everything, it has, not that they're going to show it, this is a USB hub right here. So that's neat. It has 2 extra USB ports in it. Not to mention it feels like silk, like the finish. I just love that board so much. Anyway, and it's named the Petrichor, and it's a great color of navy. But they have this keyboard, which is their Zoom 65. It's the same size as this. The difference is that the button up here can be changed for a knob or a screen or an extra key or a badge. And the problem is that there is a, let's see, I'm going to show it on here. You can get a tail light on these, which is to say there's a light that runs around the back. Let's see if they show a picture of it. They're not gonna show me the tail light. There. So there's this light that runs along the back that is connected to a series of LEDs that are supposed to run along the back. The problem is that this keyboard was designed basically at the early days of pogo connectors. So it didn't it used the pogo connectors for the main PCB, but it didn't use it for any other component, which like the knob attaches to the bottom of the case and then connects with a ribbon cable to the PCB from the bottom of the case. Well, the tail light is also a ribbon connector, but it's attached to the top piece of the case. So when you're taking the computer apart, it uses a ball catch system, which is the one that you just pop it off. But since it has these ribbon cables, the ribbon cables are attached to both the top and the bottom. So when you're taking it apart, basically, you've got to finagle it because it's connected all over the place. It's just a bad design. Not to mention the adhesive that they used on the tail lights is crappy, and so the lights start coming off, and then if you're opening and closing it, the lights get caught in the ball catch system, and so you end up just breaking the lights, and so then some of them will go out, or some of them will. And then I recently discovered that because it's wireless, so it's on a battery. If the batteries get low, then the lights start freaking out. It's a thing. I like this keyboard. I wish it had been designed better. There you go. Look at that. Ball catch system. Anyway, it is also has 7 different mounting things, including magnets, which is how I have mine set up right now. It uses maglev, which is fun. Maybe I should make the light on here just a little bit more. Can we go? Oh, there we go. That's a better color of white for the keycaps. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the modular system, but I did not but they have to design it right, which they didn't, sadly. But that is not our star of the show today. Now that we're done this, and if anybody is interested in seeing more of this keyboard, I'm going to have it over here, and we'll come back to it later on. But for now, let's go ahead and we're going to do an unboxing today. And then we're going to check it out, see how good it is. I'm going to turn my music back on. What do y'all think of the music today? I kind of went with just like a lo-fi kind of music. It's nice. All right. And we're going to disconnect that. I think it looks great. What kind of music do I normally listen to? I listen to an eclectic group of music. Let's see. I listen to 80s music. I used to be a huge 80s music fan. Not in the 80s, though. Yeah, I do 90s music. I listen to some modern music, depending when I get exposed to it. I might enjoy it or not. Big band music is good. 40s and 50s. So basically, yeah, I'm all over the place. 70s. Occasionally, I do disco at work. They love it. So this is the Tide65, as the case says. This is a triple mode, gasket mounted, mechanical keyboard. Let's take a look. We have our manual. We will not be needing that, by the way. I got it in the light blue. Let's take a look and see what comes inside the box. I got this on sale. I'm gonna rip the crap out of this thing. Let's see if I can do this without ripping the crap out of this thing. I can. Okay. I got this on sale through Amazon for $30 at the time. It's gone back up. White rubberized cable, kind of generic. Keycap and switch puller, also kind of generic, and Allen key to take it apart, which we will not be using. And that is it. We're going to put all that stuff back in here. We're not using any of it. Then we have the keyboard itself. Anything else? Get the box out of the way. Get the lid. Put this box back in here. Manual. Cover. Close the lid. Side. I love Glenn Miller. Actually, I was a huge Glenn Miller fan back in the day. I still listen to some Glenn Miller here and there. Okay, here we go. This is the Tide65. This is the light blue colorway. It has front-mounted shine-through keycaps. It is an all-aluminum construction. It has an accent on the bottom. We'll call it a weight, but it's not really. It's made of aluminum, the same as the rest of the case. Therefore, I do not classify it as a weight. I'm going to go ahead and do the peel. It's very appealing. You can see what I hope is my very plain roof. Looking at the back, you can see the USB. This is the switch for very unsatisfying switch. We'll have to check that out once we get inside of it, because that just wants to wiggle. You know, tomato, tomato. We have our recessed USB port. Let's see. It is purely friction fit. There are a total of 6 screws on the bottom to get in. It's a standard wedge, box-on wedge keyboard. So that switch is gonna be our wireless, which gives us our light. You can see the south-facing RGB trying to shine through the keycaps, which, you know, it's all right. And we will do a starting sound test. So this is how it comes out of the box. This is just straight. So there's some rattle in the spacebar. That's about it. It does have a knob that I believe does volume control and mute to start. Yeah, and that is... This can go into our trash here. That's our starting sound. And yeah. The RGB is all right. Let's see what kind of switches are on this bad boy. Sadly for Jignate, they are a linear switch. It's a light linear switch. Is it branded Epomaker? I don't know what these are. We'll assume it says Epomaker. I can't really read it, but yeah. Let's see. Oh. These are the lemon switches. So let's find out what we can see about the Epomaker lemon. Reaper. Oh, hey, I could be showing y'all. I could be playing music. We could be doing a lot here. Get back on the ball. Okay. Let's see if it's listed on their website. They have a lot of switches on their website. None of them are a lemon switch. Yeah, apparently. Okay, so apparently the lemon switch is a 38 gram So like I said, it's a light switch. 1.6 millimeter actuation, so it's a shorter but not too short actuation distance with a 3.5 millimeter bottom out. So yeah, and that would explain some things. So part of this bounce is just the desk mat alone. Let's go ahead and we're gonna take a look on the internals and see what we can find. Do I have something that fits? I don't. Oh, I fix it, yeah! Oh, jeez. Why'd you have to end up being a schmuck? Like I said, there's a total of 6 screws. Kind of take this thing apart. Should probably turn off this thing. Go. Don't look up my nose. One thing about that PVD or chrome aluminum on the bottom is that it's pretty reflective. I mean, it's not some of their some of the other keyboards where it's actually like the Inky, which actually has a glass mirror on the bottom, but I mean, this is a pretty respectable reflection here. It kind of warps around the name, which, while could just be like an error in the process. Face it at me. Oh, hey, Jignate, in honor of the game yesterday, I am wearing my Shadowrun shirt today. Alright, and let go. So we should be able to now turn it over. Screws to come out, and there they are. A total of 6 screws. Good. Great. Move you off to the side. Take off our lid. It's an FR4 plate with silicone gaskets on the end of little extension arms, so it's just gasket mounted. In the bottom there are 2 connectors. They're both JST, and I will I'm going to keep you to that. They're both JST. One is for the daughter board. One is for the battery. And there it is. Battery, which is a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Which is pretty good. At the bottom, there is an adhesive PET sheet connected to the pour-on foam, which is also somewhat adhesive. Try to do this without ruining it. So we can look at the bottom. Okay. All right. So this is a 1.0 millimeter PCB with flex cuts, per key flex cuts. It does not support any alternative layouts, including it doesn't even have step caps, which is, of course, disappointing for everyone involved. Interestingly, what it does have the ability to support. Let's see. Come here. But not on this plate is a split spacebar. So if you see here, you have two hot swap sockets, and then you have two other hot swap sockets that are empty here and here, which would allow you to have a split spacebar. So you would have a spacebar here, individual key here, other side of the split spacebar here. Unfortunately, because of the way the plate is, you would actually have to mill out this section to be able to put in the switches, which obviously can't do on the FR4 plate that is included. It does have a silicone insert here. It also does not support PCB mounted stabilizers, which is sad. I just don't understand it. This is the second time that we've seen, or maybe even the third time that we've seen on an Epomaker keyboard where they actually implement, like, they even included the hot swap sockets for it. And it was the same thing last time where they had a, with a split spacebar, you can do things like you can have like a function here in the center for doing your work, and it makes it easier if you're used to it. It also, since you're splitting the spacebar, you can actually configure each side to do something different. So you could have, if you want your spacebar here, you don't need it here. You can actually reconfigure that to be something else. So you would have 3 extra keys, or you would have 2 extra keys in the spacebar. So really, it just gives you more options. I also like the sound of split spacebars over 6.25U. I think it sounds better. There is no physical reset switch that I can see on here. But I think these have pins that you can short to reset the keyboard if you needed to. Should you need it. Yeah. With that, I am not taking apart the PCB since there's no point, since I can't do a so light. And then these silicone inserts here, which are just, let's see. Come on. These are just sound dampeners for the spacebar open area here. So you can see here and here, where if this were open, you could put in your other keys. In this case, we're just taking it out so that we can lube the stabilizer, since it was taking, since we want to give this its best shot for success. Actually, hold on a second. I will be right back. I am going to go run and grab lube. Hold on. Okay, and we're back. So there was not a lot of lube there. Just gonna add a little bit more. I have some designer studios on order as of today for plate mounted stabs. So I'll be able to update the stabs in here because I kind of figured, at least historically, the Tide series of keyboards did not support PCB mounted stabs, which always a disappointment because all you're doing is drilling some extra holes. But I mean, we are talking about a keyboard that included hot swap sockets, but did not design a plate for it, which again, all you had to do was just make it right. Okay. Here's to hoping. Well, let's put our switch back in and keycap and test. So because there is the socket for the split spacebar, yeah, a little, it's fine. Because there is the socket for the split spacebar, the spacebar itself goes in inverted. It is the only key in the keyboard, it looks like, that goes in inverted. So that's interesting. So, I'm not a big fan of these keycaps. They're generally pretty thin. Let's see. Yeah, about 1 millimeter thick. That's not really great. You generally want your keycaps to be at least 1.2 millimeters thick. I am going to take these out. And we're going to install some other ones. I've got some die subs that should work well with... and I've started taking out these keycaps, putting them in the Ziploc bags, and then putting them in the box that came with. That way, if I sell or give away the keyboard, then I have all the original parts. So if I decide to just sell it without any upgrades, I can do that. Although usually if I upgrade stabilizers, I will not replace the stabilizers. I'll leave those in because, you know, if I'm gonna sell a keyboard, I want it to be nice. Or at least nicer. Nicer than when I found it. Kind of, you know, like camping rules. Leave it nicer than you found it. If anybody is on their long weekend for Labor Day, are y'all doing anything fun besides playing Shadowrun and watching me build a keyboard or two? Because we all know that that's really the highlight of all your weekend. Misses. So we're going to start off and we're going to replace the keycaps themselves, and that is it. And we'll replace those and then see how we like it. I am going to put the foam back on though. And we'll put it back together and we'll put the keycaps on. So there we go. They even designed the bottom foam to work with the freaking, I don't know. Yeah, you definitely have to mow your front yard. Oh my god. I thought somehow I had gotten into the Australian outback. Alright, let's see if I can get this in there. Right, and then we'll put our top back on. Gotta put our top back on, you. And make sure that it all goes back in. Okay. Besides, I thought you loved mowing your lawn. Oh wait, no. I love the fact that you have a lawn. That's what it is. I forgot. I don't want to mow your lawn, but I love the fact that you have one. Yeah. I mean, it is one good thing. Like, I hate my HOA, but that is one thing that is normally nice, is that lawn service is covered under the HOA. However, they hired a lawn company that messed up the water, and so we haven't had water this season for our... We're going to start, by the way, with the dye sub keycaps, and I might change over to permafrost depending on how I feel about it. So these are a KCA profile based off of the character Rim from ReZero. And yeah, I love these keycaps. I have no idea about the anime. I only love these keycaps because the profile is sweet and it's blue. Let's go with the flowers. Look at these guys. That is backwards. All right, there we go. So the KCA profile is more of a kind of a rounder. Yeah, Subaru's a dumbass. Fuck Subaru. Ooh, I don't think I am going to need to change out these keycaps for something else, because look at that color match. That is, well, actually on camera it doesn't look nearly as color matched as it does in person. But trust me, in person, it's great. I'm not exactly sure what that's doing to it and why. That's weird. So the KCA profile, which is basically it's a more a broader cherry profile, so it's the same height as a cherry, but the shape, the curve, the width of the top of the keycap, they're all sort of different than your standard cherry. But what it does is it kind of gives it a mellow, deeper sound. So we're going to try that with the original switches, and then I might change out the switches for mirror switches instead, which will probably bring it up and make it a bit clackier. So you've seen ReZero, Jignate? Hate watch near the end because they did stupid things, or just because the writing was bad, or because they messed over a rim. So I thought there was another, like a red themed rim that was like RAM. Is that not the case? Protagonist was a jerk. Okay. Yeah, I hate that. When you don't like the protagonist in a thing, I'm like, why? Why can't you just make the protagonist likable? Because that's the person I'm supposed to identify with. And okay. So let's see how this sounds. We're going to go ahead and pause the music again, as usual. And here is the Tide65 with the KCA profile die sub keycaps. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely much better. And I think that the blue, matching the blue, is actually really nice. So I think we're not even going to bother with permafrost today. But let's see about some... yeah, let's see about mirror switches. Keeping with our blue theme, because, you know, that's how I roll. Much better than the ugly lemon switches that are in here. Not to mention a little bit heavier, which is better for me. Oh, that's much better. Much better for me. I imagine it's probably better for Jignate. Alright. Grab me another Ziploc, as previously mentioned. We're going to go ahead and pull the lemons off. We'll replace them. Bring back music. Take a drink. Not sponsored by Coke Zero, but if they wanted to pay me, I would take their sweet, sweet Coke Zero money. All right. So, I'm not taking off the top. So what I'm going to do, by the way, ignore that. That is our weekly stream bot that wants me to get better viewers. But, I mean, come on. You guys. You guys are the best viewers of all time. So we're going to do this row by row, or maybe a couple of rows at a time. Yeah, we'll do a couple of rows at a time. Because we need to make sure that the PCB stays where it is in relation to the in relation to the plate. So. As I said, this is an FR4 plate. There is a PE sheet as well as plate foam. It has the case foam, which is where we're getting a lot of that foamy sound signature. Foamy sound signature is not working very well on the original switches, which are these lemons, which are not the best and are now one's gone forever. Yes. No, I see it. Okay. Yeah. That was my head hitting the mic. I hope y'all enjoyed that. It was fun. Come on. Lego. I just got worried for a second. I heard Freya sneeze downstairs. It sounded like she seized. Then I heard another sneeze, and I'm like, oh. So, because I ordered the Designer Studios from Ollie, it's going to be a few weeks before they get here. Probably about a month with the new regime. Which, of course, is Kakapupu. Interesting. I don't know why that is kind of jacked up looking, but anyway. We're going to do the top row, top two rows, and then we'll do the middle row by itself, and then we'll do the bottom two rows. That's my plan. So, have y'all been watching Strange New Worlds? Because if not, why not? It's good stuff. I won't tell you what happens. Except they encounter things in space. I know. I shouldn't have said it, but I did. I'm not scared. So there's also a PET sheet underneath the PE sheet. So there's the plastic layer on top of the PCB. Then there's the foam, the white foam. Then there's white plate foam. And then the black and coppery looking FR4 plate. Which they should have just made it white. Because FR4 is just PCB material. It could be any color. You could have made it blue. Or you could have made it a polycarbonate clear plate, and that would be even better for me. But no. Really? I mean, I find that surprising since it's so good. Like, Strange New Worlds is. Discovery took us a while to get into. Basically, we started watching it because we were running out of shows to watch. And we're like, all right, we'll give it another shot, you know, with the weird Klingons and that kind of stuff. Everything looking good. Everything's sounding better. Yeah. Once we got into Strange New Worlds, that show is really hearkening back to older Star Trek. In a way that is really, really good. And they've got this season, next season, and then one more season, so they'll have a total of 5 seasons. And then it will become Star Trek Year 1, where they it'll be the first year that Kirk takes command. Well, what are you watching? What do you mean, how to infotainment? Like, are you? Well, I mean, you've got the tool shed coming along nicely. Do you have projects that you found on there that you're trying to do? Because that'd be interesting. Who does Jignate watch on YouTube besides the Adept or Chris James 024, which is my YouTube channel? Don't ask me why. By the way, if you want to see Jignate and RoboClown doing karaoke of I Just Can't Wait to Be King from The Lion King, go on my YouTube channel and go back to the beginning. It's great. Great stuff. There's also a video of him rebuilding his Keychron V10 after he's had a spill on it, to the music of the William Tell Overture. I think it's the William Tell Overture. Yeah. Also good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, this is really coming along. I am psyched for this. It just goes to show you, you can take a $30 keyboard, drop on, you know, another probably $50 worth of materials, and turn a $30 keyboard into a $200 keyboard. And you can do it at your pace, because it was alright, the original sound, if you remember. Changing out the keycaps improved the sound. You could have gone the other way. You could have just replaced the switches first, and you would have also seen a dramatic improvement. You know, depending on what you like, because, you know, some people hate existence, and so they go for clicky switches. You know, some people like typing more, so they go for tactile switches. I don't know what weehee means. Because I love life, personally. And I love linear switches, because they're awesome. Awesome! I do like Adrian's Digital Basement. Did you ever, have you seen the, I want to say she's like Aucklander. She's younger, and she does rebuilds in retro stuff. Because she's pretty fun. I don't remember what her channel is, though. She pops up on my feed every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Why do you need a desiccant dehumidifier? You... Never mind. I'm not going to finish that statement. I just don't understand. I'm confused. It happens at my age. Don't forget to invert the space bar. Here we go. I should have almost exactly enough switches. I'll have like 8 left over, which is nice. Did I mention coming up, I will be having an Alice keyboard coming up, the Tide Alice. Because Hobbit buildings are awesome. That's why. Because a Hobbit hole means comfort. Everybody knows that. Not a dry, bare, sandy hole. I mean, unless you're Gandalf and you keep hitting your head against the ceiling, but whatever. That guy, he was too tall anyway. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. So let's switch on some lights. Lights are shining much better with these switches than they did with the lemon switches. Not exactly sure what those lemon switches were doing that were causing that, but let's go ahead and run a typing test. This is the Tide65 with DieSub KCA profile rim from ReZero keycaps and Akko HMX collab mirror switches. So these are HMX switches that were produced for Akko. They're called mirrors. Here we go. All right, cool. I think and then let's take a look at that JSON, or take a look at Via, so we can edit the JSON. I think I already downloaded the JSON for this keyboard. We'll bring that up. For those of you who have never dealt with Via in the past, essentially. It allows us to remap this keyboard. In order to sideload JSON files, which most of these companies are doing, if we keep on them, hopefully maybe someday they will actually get the hint. But you go load, it opens up. I did not. I thought I did. So we can come over here, search for Tide65 JSON. Why are you doing that? What are you doing? Why are you going crazy? There we go. Oh, it did. It downloaded as a zip. There we go. Now we can come over here. Load. And then it pops up and you can pick the tide, hit connect. Now we're going to come over to configure and you'll see it is now loaded. We can see what our configuration is to start. Notice that this actually has the split spacebar layout already done. We're going to unsplit the spacebar because we can't split the spacebar as much as I want to. You son of a biscuit. Yep. And then you can have access to all your layers. This thing has 9 layers that you can program. So what you could do is that, so you have your function here, and then you can come over here and you could set another function to like here, which can put you, well, not to here, because this is going to be your Mac layer. This is your Mac function layer. But it could put you to like here. What I am going to do is, we don't need to mess with that, is I am going to change you y minus, so this actually programs this to go to MO8, which we are going to change that. I don't know what you are. It usually tells me. I guess I will not mess with BATQ because I know what that is. Is that under special? Custom? Yes. So it is this. That to G. We're going to put U to BATQ. I don't know what L toggle is. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to change that BATQ over to play. Okay. And then we are going to get rid of a bunch of this stuff. Go back to basic. So my standard configuration puts print screen, then home, then page up, and then on this row, we're going to put our delete, our page down, no, our delete, our end, and page down. There, we're going to get rid of scroll lock, because scroll lock is stupid. RGB mode is fine. We're going to put our layer 8 here, because I don't need a right control. Why would I function to get to right control? Like, honestly. MO8, which is actually 7. It's this guy. I don't really need it, but who cares? Anything else? Good. Oh, I was going to put you as hue. Plus and hue minus, speed, brightness, that's good. Yeah, everything else is good. I don't usually mess with my saturation because I'll mess with the lighting in here. Can I do a gradient up and down? I can. What? Change that over here. Alright, I'm going to extend it there. So we have kind of a light blue to dark blue gradient up and down, which is cool for me. Hey Sarah, what's going on? It is a 65%. It is the Tide 65. Hopefully by next week I will have the Tide Alice to show off to you. And yeah. So then we can do our key tester. The Tide Alice is a pre-build, yes. But we'll be, like I did with this one, we're gonna take it apart, see what makes it tick, and then rebuild it. I am probably going to use the red version of these, maybe. Probably some HMX Chew switches or something else. I don't know. But yeah, it's got a... This light is the battery indicator, and it will turn off when the battery's charged. But till then, it just stays red. And then going back, we've got our accent piece here. No. This is now built with HMX Alco mirror switches. But, you know, it came out really nice. I'm thinking about putting that PE sheet back into this guy, though. So this is the Eave65. I started to upgrade it with the full upgrade kit. Once I got into it, I found out that the JST wire that I have... Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I wonder, is it any longer? I have another JST wire. I wonder... No, I think it's going to be about the same length. Let's find out. Let's find out, shall we? So anyway, this is how it sounds right now. It has HMX Chew. It has the silicone weight in the bottom. That is this piece here. It doesn't go down all the way. It does not have the other plate foam piece, but it does have, I mean, a case foam piece, but it does have plate foam, which is this black band here. And it's not quite what I want. So I think I'm going to put the PE sheet back on it, which means I gotta unbuild this bitch. Ooh, wait, I was gonna check. Let's see. So, yeah. So the silicone piece does fix one problem. This corner, when you push down on it, was kind of pushing away from, like it had too much give, but just in that corner. Now it doesn't, but you know, it's kind of muted my backspace, so I don't know. Do a quick rebuild on this guy. And meanwhile, we'll leave you plugged in so you can charge. Well, yeah. I mean, these are the Paigu stabs. So they are plate or PCB mounted clip-in with silicone inserts. They are the my go-to stabilizers. The silicone inserts in them mean that I basically don't have to really worry about lubing all that much, because the silicone pretty much takes place of that. So I lube them with 205G0 just to kind of top it off, and like, you know, it just needs to be there enough to add a little bit to the silicone. But one interesting fact that I found out with silicone insert stabilizers, you can't use dielectric grease. I learned that recently, because the dielectric grease will interact with the silicone and it will eat it, thus turning the silicone to goo. At least that's what I've heard now. And I don't plan on trying to test that out because I like my stabilizers. Well, I mean, using dielectric grease, you don't need to use dielectric grease on silicone insert stabilizers. That would just be counterproductive, honestly. The 205G0 adds just enough additional buffer so that I've yet to have a ticking stab using Paigu stabs, Night stabs, Wuche Studio Stupid Stabs, which are all silicone insert stabilizers. Although I only use Night Stabs twice. Once in this guy. And I'm going to end up having to pull those Night Stabilizers out. Not on their fault, but on the plate's fault. I think it came with plate mounted stabs. No, actually, you can get, if you go to our friends at KP Republic, right now you can get your Paigu stabs on sale, and I think that brings it down to like $11 for a set of stabilizers. I mean, there are cheaper stabilizers on the market, but normally, like, depending on what you're trying to get, like, because they have also another off-brand for that is called Maize, M-A-I-Z, and you can get Maize stabilizers in Milky, which I really should. They're always out of stock though. I would love to get a set for this if I'm going to keep it in this X-ray layout. Okay. And we got one, we got two, we got one not coming. Come on. There you are. Okay. No, Paigu stabs are not expensive, but you have to wait for them to ship, because they are shipping from KP Republic or AliExpress. Don't forget, if you have never bought anything from KP Republic before and you're spending over $15, you can use the code TheAdept024 to get $5 off your order. And that's only for your first order. That was my salesman voice. Y'all like it? It's almost the same as my game show host voice, but, you know. Which, you know, funny story, when I was in the, because the transition between elementary school and middle school, oh, right. Transition for me from elementary to middle school, which is for people not in the United States is different than because we have a middle stage, and I don't think y'all do. But essentially, it is the transition between the 6th grade and the 7th grade, and then there's a transition depending between, for me growing up, there was a transition between the 9th grade and the 10th grade. No, we're not going to do it. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, there we are. Anyway, you graduated from elementary school, and when you did, they did like a little celebration thing, and it was, you know, fun, and they made little funny quips about everybody, and they said the adept, whom we all know, will probably tell jokes on a TV show. I mean, you know, this was back in, let's see here. So that would be, 1983, for those of you doing the maths. So no internet. Oh, right. I was going to see. I think this is actually longer than that. Oh, maybe not. Ooh, do we want to try it? I might try it. I'ma do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Do an experiment. So this is the JST connector from the Cruel World. It's I currently have the Bastion PCB installed, so it's a Molex to JST, so I had to get a different one. But I'll need to get a replacement for that eventually if this works and I keep it, or if because I'm going to reach out to Swagkeys and let them know that their stuff doesn't work right. But alright, so if this is a standard JST cable and I don't blow up my PCB, I'm not sponsored. They are a friend of the channel. I mentioned it earlier. Those people down at the bottom have over however long been kind enough to send me boards or keycaps or switches to do content on. So if you probably weren't around, Red Dragon sent me the Gallatin Pro and the ESA, which are $298. Basically, it's the same keyboard. Yeah, look at that. This absolutely, if the pinout is the same and I don't break my board, this is absolutely going to work, which will be nice. So with the silicone insert, they included this new trench to keep the cable out of the way of the downfiring RGB. They also replaced the daughter board. The original daughter board had a JST connector that angled towards the thing. So this is about yay short of actually being able to not even only trench in here, but even just stretch from going straight over to this and being able to set. So they should have sent a longer JST cable with the daughter board, but they did not. And so I'm going to reach out to them. Hopefully this works. If I can get it to stay in the trench, because then it will dodge the downfiring RGB. Oh, my gasket came off. Yeah, my gasket came off. Okay. Now let's see if it lights up. And it does. Let's see that beautiful RGB action. Look at that. Oh god. Oh god. So beautiful. Alright. We're going to disconnect it again for now. Get this all put back together. So yeah, you needed a longer JST cable. I'm glad I remembered that, especially while I had it already apart. That's nice. So like I was saying, Maze makes a milky version of that. So if I wanted to keep with my theme for this board, which I obviously do, I can get a set from them for that and put that in here. And then which of course, you know, this is why I'm calling this the why is your caps on, man? I don't know why your caps is on. The other day I learned what no cap means. Because again, old people don't learn new slang. Because we're not exposed to it. Actually, I learned a lot of slang from being in the channel. Oh, your box navies never showed up? Oh. I ordered the MMD crystal Hall effect switches. I'm going to try them in the Venom. Yeah, I got the red version of these, and for some reason they ship separately, and they should be in my mailbox right now. So after the stream, I'm gonna run down there and grab those, and I'm probably gonna initially install them in, ooh, I'm gonna install them in the 0. Oh, that's gonna look so fine. If you look up the XVX Jade red keycaps, they're basically like the translucent AFI. I don't know how you say that. Hyphy? Anyway, it's like a translucent version of those. Or XVX version of those. And well, I hope they do. So, speaking of the cruel world, I am, like, somewhere on the slate is going to be building out the cruel world, and I'll solder it. Solder the PCB. I need to see if I can get another... I can't... Man. Tariffs suck, man. I'm just getting annoyed. So annoyed by tariffs. Because I'm like, I really want to get a plate. Another plate for the crew world. That way I can solder it and have it all be one thing and not have to worry about it. But to get a different plate, I'm gonna have to find somebody to make a plate, and then I'm gonna have to come on, where's my there you go. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find somebody to make the plate, and then I'm gonna have to pay freaking tariffs when it gets here. On a plate. Well, oh, aren't navies clicky? Or is that, are they tactile? What am I thinking of? Because my Clickies fan is in the channel. Or he was. I think he's still here. Oh, did y'all see my new graphic for my name? Fancy. Trying to be all fancified and stuff. I am. But yeah, if anybody has any questions on the friends of the channel and why they're the friends of the channel, I will tell you. More than happy to. Because KP Republic, man, let me tell you. They sent me 2 keyboards. They sent me the Magneto switches, which, well, I mean, that's not their fault that the Magneto switches suck, but, you know. They sent me a couple sets of keycaps. When they were doing their little recent thing. Alt. These are hard to read. You're also an alt. That actually sounds tons better for me. Super. Bless you. That was a cat. Sometimes cats are a little sneezy. And a little sleazy. Oh, they're not really ever sleazy. Well, except for Kieran. Kieran be kind of a creepster. Which is why he's my favorite. They say you should never play favorites with your children or your pets. Not me. I got a favorite every time. I don't have any kids, but that I know of. Just say that anyone has come forward and mentioned. Alright, getting down near the end. Here we go. Oh, we get a cube. No, I did not hear that the Arizona Department of Child Services is looking for you. You share the name of Deadbeat Dad. Are you sure it's not you? Did you go to that fancy HentaiCon and do something you ought not to? All right. So now we have the original, or we have the PE sheet back in. There goes my paintbrush. Yeah, I mean, you know, it would be nice to know that you were no longer a virgin. I guess if that's what you're looking for. There's some people now that are just done with it, as a thing. So more power to them, I guess. But we have the PE sheet back in. We have the new daughter board. We replaced the JST wire with something longer, so that we have our full blinding bottom lights on display. And now we will do a sound test. Let's go ahead and pause our music. And this is HMX Chew / First Encounter switches, which is a collab with Swagkeys XVX Jade Whites in the Eave65 with the Plus upgrade. Okay. As a point of comparison, since they're both 65s, so this is actually deeper, but that's probably the foam. Oh, based on yeah, you weren't going anywhere during COVID. All the cons were canceled. Well, I might try some other, like, I mean, again, this is a theme board for me right now. I thought the idea of the X-ray board, like, you know, the white on the clears look kind of off. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll probably put something else on here at some point. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this because it's hard for me to read. And I do not touch type, so I kind of need to be able to see the letters. I wonder if we put something deeper on... Do I want to try something deeper? What do I got? What do I got up here right now? What about KP Republic Ghost Judge Space? That might be fun. It's 6 o'clock. I was gonna wrap it up soon, but no. So I'm just gonna do it anyway. I might as well do it while chatting with you guys. Alright, let's do it. I can do this real quick. Oh, but I can't do it without music. Boom! Funny. Well, you know, people don't watch my live version of the YouTube streams, but sometimes they've been watching them after the fact, which is cool. I think I need to edit them, add splash screens and stuff, and make them proper VODs like Alex does. I don't know. Ooh, or, and stay with me here. We could do Osume Lavender Dreams Marshmallow on here. Oh, we're absolutely doing that. Hold the phone. I got that. I got that on lock, yo. That's how you say that, right? I don't know if it's the proper place for it, though. Anyway, whatever. We're gonna do it. Alright. I'm just gonna step away. I'm not even gonna go to BRB. I'm just gonna grab it, come right back. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'm old. No guff, yo. Wait, wrong one. This may be the combination that all of these things have been waiting for. Looking good. Oh wait, that's right. You actually have one of the things I need, which is you. So the Marshmallow set by Osume is their flat profile. So all of the keys are the same height. So there are keys in here that that go with other layers. What do y'all think? Y'all think this is working? You think it's gonna work? I think it's gonna work. Might have to purple the underglow a little bit. Just a little, though. Oh. No, this is it. Except for I'm not using it, because I'm using function. Right. Oh, I think this is good stuff. So Osume keycaps are dye sub, PBT. They're high quality, but they're not thick. They're not as thick as some of the other high quality dye sub stuff. So there's that. The Marshmallow set is icons only, which can be a little bit of a problem for me, not once they're in place, but actually figuring out which ones are which. It also only has bars. There's no scoops. Fuck scoops. You heard me. I stand by my statement. Alright, I don't actually. I don't care. this is where we're getting some of the extra stuff. Probably the thing I like best about the Osume keycap set, I mean, aside from the keycaps themselves, is the fact that in the container, it shows you where it shows you what every keycap is going to be. There you go. So you know where everything goes when you put it back. And I'm like, oh my god. Game changer. It's a game changer. Right. I mean, it's not quite an X-ray, but I think right? It's so much better. This feels a little stiff on the return. I need to deal with that later, but I think that's it. I don't think it's going to really bother anything. It's not that stiff. Anyway, yeah. So let's see here. Like I said, I think I need to go into the JSON and make it a little bit more purple. Oh, I already had it up, but it's good. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. That is nice. It's subtle. It's still white. Just the tint, just the hint of the purple. Let's go to the back. I should be able to see it. Let's blind everybody. So the light dispersal at the bottom is not nearly as good as the light dispersal at the top because it's a thicker silicone at the top, obviously. This is the silicone insert. So going back to what we originally are talking about with these keyboards. So the Swagkeys upgrade kit for the Eave65, if you already own an Eave65, to convert it to the Eave65 Plus, I wouldn't buy it yet until they fix the JST connector, especially if you're paying $20 in shipping or more, because now the new tariffs are going to be in place day before yesterday. So with that, you can't even use their new daughter board. So you're paying for a daughter board that you can't use. You're paying $20 on a $5, or you're paying $25 for a $5 part. Yes, more tariffs. The silicone, if they fix the JST connector or give you the longer cable, I would definitely say, you know, it turns what was for you a $50 keyboard essentially into a $75, $80 keyboard. And I would pay that. If they fix the JST connector cable length, I would say that I would put this up against a Bauer Light any day of the week. They are comparable. Let's take a look. I think I have it here. So this is the Canon Keys Photon. Again, it's a similar keyboard. This does not have a weight. You can't even use the bottom case foam because of the keyboard design. Because of the way the keyboard is designed, you just can't. This does have wireless, and it runs EMK, so the wireless lasts for about 6 months. But you're looking at $105. This is got Y3s in it. Hey, yeah, another 65. Well, I mean, you have to compare apples to apples. If you want, I can pull back out, because I started this show with the Zoom 65 CU on my desk, because I had just rebuilt it. Or I have the, if we're comparing 65% budget keyboards, there's this. Haha, the Test 65. But I mean, that's just a fine keyboard. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that while this is wired only and this is wireless, this is 85, this is 105, so $20 more for this. I mean, if you're going to need to use it wireless, this is a fine keyboard. It has very similar, bottom glow. Got it obstructed by the battery, but still, it has a fine underglow, just like the Eve does, and but without the weight. In this case, I mean, it is really designed to be a travel keyboard. You're supposed to be tossing this in your bag, hence the reason why it comes with that super small travel case. Is the upgrade kit worth it after they fix the JST cable issue, which I will be bringing up to them today, and see if A, they can send me a longer JST cable, and B, if they should include it going forward. I don't know if they'll listen to me. I'm not Alex, so who would listen to me anyway? But still, we'll give it a shot. And as far as the Tide65, Tide65 is a good keyboard for people, new people. It is, if you're experienced and you want a new 65% with a knob, I put essentially I would have paid, I think, $11.99 per set of switches for the mirror switches, and these keycaps cost me about 20 bucks. So this was a $30 keyboard. Now it's about a $70 keyboard, 75. And I think this is better than a $75 keyboard. So if you can get it on sale, I would say get it. I checked on the Epomaker website, and this keyboard is not listed on it anymore. So this might even be a moot point, and you can get it through Amazon, but it might be being phased out. If you do, make sure you grab the JSON file immediately. That way you have the JSON file in case something happens, and they just they keep their old JSON files on the site. But in case they don't, you have it, and that's it. I think that's the stream. Unless anybody has any questions or wants to look at anything else that I've got here today. If you have anything, speak now or forever hold your hold. Nope. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can raid someone else. Anybody to raid? Diamond painting, I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's not actually gray. It actually is, let's see, can I get it if I get it closer? I mean, it really is a very light purple. The color is very subtle. Yeah, it would be nice if they had alternate numero, and then it's kind of a box. That would have been, yeah. I mean, that would be cool. Let's see, filter. I need a keyboard. My keyboard. Oh, doesn't look like there's any keyboarders out right now. Let's take a look just to be sure. Nope. All right. So we'll go ahead and close it down. All right, well, thanks for joining me, and I will be streaming next Sunday at 3 Mountain Daylight Time. Join me then, and we will be looking at least the Womier AL80, which reminds me of the Chilkey Indie with the little side screen, and it's very cute. It'll be silver, and it'll be a re-unboxing because it was a auction win that I paid 30 bucks for, so that's cool. And we'll be taking a look at it, tearing it down, and rebuilding it, and putting some new stuff in it, and hopefully I'll have the tie to Alice as well. So until next time, again, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you have any